Today I back my weeping willow. Here it is last September. I trimmed it back in late July, so it's done pretty well to bounce back so quickly. It's looking very healthy. In October it started dropping some leaves, but it looks like some are still green. So it's not a very powerful display this year, but it's a bit staggered, but that's fine. Here is a close-up of one of the leaves changing colour. In November it's lost all the leaves, so we can finally have a good look at the structure. It looks okay from far away, but when we get close you can see there's plenty of dieback going on. It's really easy to spot because it's all the black bits. I think this was from the last pruning I did in the summer, as there hasn't been any frost yet to kill anything off. But it's fine, we can remove these later and the new shoots will always grow back on willows. In February, it's time for a pruning. I started by cutting everything back. Then I can work out what's actually going on and remove anything I don't like. This tree is very weird looking at the minute. It's just a big Y shape. So it's going to get a pretty hard cut back here. So I just started trimming bits off that I didn't like, and the more I removed, the more I felt that bits needed to come off. I just kept hacking away at it until I was left with a pretty basic structure. I'm not too worried, the chunk has been thickening up nicely, so that's all that matters. All the removed growth hasn't exactly gone to waste because the trunk is thickened now. And here it is after, so yeah, I went pretty hard. It's still a Y shape, so maybe there is more pruning still to come. Not much happening in March, but there are lots of buds forming. But interestingly, only on one side of the Y shape, so maybe my decision has been made for me. In April, it's time for a repot. You can see all the buds are starting to pop on one side, and that other side is totally dead now. So the Y problem has been dealt with. I started by getting the tree out of the pot, but it was in there pretty tightly. So I had to scrape away a lot of the soil just to free it up enough to pull it out. And as you can see, it's pretty root bound. So it'll probably take a while to get these all raked out. After a very long time I was left with this. They're pretty long actually. But you can see there was a decent structure in there somewhere. So I just hacked everything back to get back to that initial structure, and that was it. I just potted it back up in the same pot. It's not a very complicated repot. But this tree is very much in development, so I'm more than happy for it to fill this pot with roots over the next year again. In May, the shoots are starting to grow and that half of the Y is definitely dead. In June, I give it a little prune. Some shoots are growing in weird places or bad angles or just weird directions, so I just took them all out. You can also see that dead Y section. It looks kind of weird now, but I'll just leave it and see if it rots off, or maybe I'll snap it off later. Like I said, this tree is in development, so there's no real rush. As you can see, I've left a few branches untouched here. These are basically the ones I'm keeping, and they will just grow unchecked for now, for the rest of the season, to thicken up and start rebuilding the structure of this tree again. Here it is in July. It's looking okay. It's pretty leggy, but that's pretty normal for these. And here we are now. It's still doing okay, and there's also a cheeky shoot that's developed at the base, so I'll definitely let that grow and thicken the trunk some more. Thanks for watching, see you next time.